Yeah, you may have noticed an uptick in political ads, flyers, and commercials lately. With the election less than 2 weeks away, we wanted to know the psychology behind voting.
And News 8's Megan Bunchman caught up with the Grand Valley political science professor. She joins us now with the answer as to why do people vote?
Yeah, Emily and Sue, this is the first time people in Michigan can vote for the governor's race via absentee ballot without needing an approved reason. That, coupled with some highly contested issues, may lead to record-level voter turnout.
For the voters who are actually going to show up and vote on Election Day, November 8th, or cast an absentee ballot, or have already cast an absentee ballot, most of those voters have already decided.
There are very few people who are actually unsure how they will vote this election. That's according to GVSU political professor Whit Kilburn.
I think for the most part, people really do vote their hopes and not their fears.
With more than 770,000 absentee ballots already returned, record turnout is likely. As the election gets closer and an uptick of political ads fill your screens, mailboxes, and airways, Kilburn says it's really a candidate's first impression that matters most.
Say bye-bye, vote.
After that, people start to tune out the noise.
The effectiveness of ads tends to drop as the volume of advertising that reaches voters tends to increase. At some point, and I think most people have experienced this, you get the flyers in the mail and you barely look at them before you just throw them in the recycling.
Why do people vote?
One way of thinking about it is to first ask, why do people not vote? And from a certain sense, if people think that their vote doesn't matter, then there's probably little sense in turning out to vote.
In addition to this year's gubernatorial race, controversial Propositions 2 and 3 have galvanized a new wave of voters. Kilburn says many of whom simply didn't cast their ballot in years past.
They're asking people to sort of rethink their traditional party loyalties and how they might usually vote and think about this one issue and what the implications of Prop 3 might be.
So whether it's education, vaccines, abortion rights, or the economy that gets people to the polls, politicians are now focusing on their base to help get them or their issue across the finish line.
I think what the campaigns are fighting over isn't so much trying to persuade undecided voters, but to mobilize their supporters.
Absentee ballot requests are now closed. You can still register to vote in person at your local clerk's office.